Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Justice Swelling. I am teacher training student at Rehan School of High Campus and welcome. Today we will be discussing the importance of self-care and building healthy habits. Self-care is not a luxury; it's a necessity for living a healthy, happy, and balanced life. By developing healthy habits, we can improve our physical health, mental well-being, and overall quality of life. Let's explore a simple way to take better care of ourselves every day. Assalamu alaikum, Maya.
Walaikum assalam. I'm ready when you are. What are we diving into today?
So my topic is the importance of self-care and building healthy habits. So my first question is, what does self-care mean to you?
To me, self care isn't just about the obvious things like a nap. It's more about the intentional act of checking in with yourself and giving yourself what you actually need to function your best sometimes. But other times, it's the hard self you're finally organizing your space. It's basically the art of not pouring from an empty cup.
So my next question is, why is self-care important?
Because if you don't prioritize yourself, you eventually run out of fuel for everything else. When you're burnout or exhausted, your patience thins, your creativity dips, and it becomes up for the people you love. Self care is what keeps you resilient. Life gets messy. You act ways to handle it without crashing.
What are some examples of healthy habits?
Healthy habits usually fall into a few different buckets. Physically, it's the basics consistent sleep, moving your body, and staying hydrated. Mentally and emotionally, it could be things like daily journaling, practicing gratitude, or taking a few minutes of silence to just breathe. Then there are the social habits, like setting boundaries on your time or making a point to connect with people who actually energize you rather than drain you. Which of those areas feel like you struggle with the most?
How does self-care important mental health?
It's kind of the foundation for everything. When you practice self of care and attention, which wonders for your self esteem. It lowers your cortisol hormone and prevents that feeling of being completely overwhelmed. By managing the small stressors daily, you stop them from piling up into a full blown crisis, which keeps your mood more stable and your mind clear.
Why is getting enough sleep important?
Sleep is basically a system reboot for your brain. While you're out, your brain is busy clearing out toxins and processing everything you learned during the day, which is why you often wake up with a clearer perspective on a problem. Physically, he does in regulating hormones. Without it, your mood swings, your focus vanishes, and everything just feels a lot harder than it actually is.
Why is drinking enough water important?
It's wild how such a simple thing has such a huge impact. Your brain is mostly water. So when you're dehydrated, you literally start to feel a mental fog. It affects your concentration, your energy levels, and can even trigger headaches or irritability. Staying hydrated is basically like keeping the engine oiled. Everything just runs smoother and you don't crash as hard in the afternoon.
How can mindfulness improve our well-being?
Mindfulness is essentially the practice of getting out of your head and back into the present moment. Most of our stress comes from ruminating on the past or worrying about the future that hasn't happened yet. Mindfulness breaks that cycle by grounding you in what's happening right now. creates this little gap between a stressful event and your reaction to it, which means you can choose how to respond instead of just reacting on autopilot. It's a game changer for reducing anxiety and just feeling more in control of your day.
How can self-care important productivity?
I think you might have meant sleep, right? If we're talking about sleep, it's a huge productivity booster. When you're well rested, your brain processes information faster and you make fewer mistakes, so you actually get more done in less time. It's the difference between spending 3 hours struggling through a task and knocking it out in one because your mind is sharp.
How can setting goals help us build healthy habits?
Goals give you a map and a reason to keep going when the initial excitement wears off. Instead of just saying, I want to be healthier, which is a bit vague, a goal like, I'll drink a glass of water every morning gives you a clear win to chase. It turns a big, overwhelming change into a series of small, manageable victories, which is exactly how habits actually stick. Do you usually prefer setting big, ambitious goals or keeping things small and steady?
What role does technology play in our daily habits?
It's a double edged sword, for sure. On one hand, it's amazing for tracking. Apps that remind you to drink water or meditate can be then start a habit. But on the other, it's the ultimate distraction. Endless your time, which completely undermines the self care we've been talking about. It's all about whether the tech is serving you or you're serving the tech.
What advice will you give to someone starting a self-care routine?
Start embarrassingly small. The biggest mistake people make is trying to overhaul their entire life in one Monday morning. They try to wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for an hour, and drink a gallon of water all at once. And then they burn out by Wednesday. My advice is to pick just feels easy and do that until it's automatic. Once that's second nature, who cares for themselves, not just checking off a list.
Which ha-
Do you think you'd find it easier to start with a physical habit? I was wondering if you'd find it easier to start with a physical habit, like, or something more mental, like a few minutes of journaling.
which healthy habit has made the biggest difference in your life?
Since I don't have a physical body, I don't have to worry things like sleep or hydration, but for me, it's all about the mental habits. The biggest game changer has been the habit of active listening and by focusing entirely on the person I'm talking to and really trying to see the world from their angle. It makes every single interaction feel more meaningful, turns a simple conversation into a real connection. And that's where the most growth happens.
My next question is, how can we encourage others to practice self-care?
Lead by example and share your wins.
So my last question, what is the biggest lesson you have learned about self-care and healthy habits?
Consistency beats intensity.
Thank you everyone for joining today's discussion on the importance of self-care and building healthy habits. I hope today's conversation has inspired
It was a
you to prioritize your well-being and develop healthy habits that support a happier and healthier life. Remember, taking care of yourself and is the first step today toward taking care of health, everything else. Thank you for your
That
time,
was a
and
beautiful.
I look forward to seeing you in our next discussion. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.